Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm Mark Roosevelt, lucky enough to be the president of St. John's College in Santa Fe. I want to welcome our graduating seniors, graduate students, your families and friends, our current students who are attending to celebrate them, and faculty, staff, and members of the St. John's Board of Governors, all of whom are proud to witness this important day. Over the next hour and about 10 minutes, we will enjoy a mix of live speeches and toasts, as well as recorded speeches, music and messages from the class of 2020. As we move through today's program, we will help you navigate between these two experiences. We are live streaming this event at 7,000 feet, high up in the mountains of New Mexico, where all of you Johnnies know that our Wi-Fi can be, well, a bit mischievous. But we heard from you, our graduating class, that a live commencement is very important to you, and we want to honor this. So if our live stream gets a little playful and you lose connection, stay calm. I will try to stay calm. We will reconnect. Just remember, if you get kicked off, return to the same website page that you used to get here, and that is sjc.edu/commencementsf. Okay, I hope that's all the housekeeping we're going to need. On to the real stuff. It is impossible not to note the unique environment we are in today, an environment of distance that none of us wanted nor expected. But I don't want to dwell on it. Instead, what I want to emphasize is that regardless of the fact that this event is happening virtually, the moment still represents the same monumental achievement of having completed the program. Class of 2020, you have done something substantial. There is a reason that this education is known to be one of the most challenging in the whole world. And you've not just skated through, partly because you can't, and partly because that is not your nature. You have earned this day. I sure hope you know that. And due to the virus, there's even a little added extra oomph to your accomplishment for having helped yourself, your classmates, and the college through this challenging time. Thank you for that. Yes, you are leaving the college at a very challenging time. I want to be forthright with you about what you will face. But even more than that, I want to embolden you with what you have already achieved and what you can bring to the world. First, we'll deal with the challenges. You will be tested. You will be tested more than my generation, and we were tested. We lived through the civil rights upheaval, through Vietnam, the shootings of a young American president and a beloved civil rights leader. But always for us, there was the underlying belief that America was getting better and stronger, that our democracy and our economic futures were bright, that the world's democracies were growing and strengthening. That's not so today. Even before the pandemic, uncertainty about these things was great. And now with the pandemic, that uncertainty has multiplied. And one of many consequences will be that jobs, for at least a while, are going to be harder to come by. Add to these challenges the fact that you will be entering an increasingly fractured, deeply divided country and world. We are riven by unproductive partisanship and nasty bickering. These are testing times. But there's also reason for hope. Many lights in the darkness, like you, for example, and what we are celebrating with you today. For St. John's has prepared you exactly for these times. You have what the world needs and what employers are looking for. adaptable and open minds, sharp analytical skills, a relentlessly questioning approach, an unwillingness to embrace the glib, easy answer, a desire to probe further, the training to see what others miss, the resilience to keep going, the resourcefulness to learn anything, a dedication to listening that is rare, a desire to find truth as nuanced as it may be, rather than a need to be right and to win. And these are the qualities of tomorrow's leaders. So please, my biggest request to you is, do not undersell yourselves in this daunting world. Do not underestimate what you have achieved. And now, going forward, it's all about making a life. And as you probably all have begun to cotton on to, making a life is hard. It's in good part about finding where you fit and what your contribution will be. It's about deciphering what your times demand of you and then giving it. It's also about seeing the world and ourselves as the complicated, deeply imperfect things that we are and trying to do better. To quote the New York Times writer A.O. Scott, yep, we are as a species ridiculous, vain, ugly, selfish, and self-deluding. But somehow, some of our attempts to take stock of this condition, our songs and our stories, moving pictures old and new, manage to be beautiful, even sublime. Hang on to that vision. Hang on to that beauty. It's so important. I very much hope you will carry this with you into the world. It should help immensely as you try to figure out how can you look at the world squarely, see it for what it is, and not get brokenhearted, nor lose faith, nor the desire to make a difference, and how you can maintain the most important thing of all, and that is the desire to try. Sometimes I think that there are really only two kinds of people, the committed and those who live off the commitment of others, and that making the decision about which group you will be in is the most important decision you will make. We know what decision you all will make. For my part, after a life with a great deal of conflict and challenge in politics and in education, perhaps the best summation of my views I can offer is British historian Kenneth Clark's final credo. I believe that order is better than chaos, creation better than destruction. I prefer gentleness to violence, forgiveness to vendetta. On the whole, I think that knowledge is preferable to ignorance, and I am sure that human sympathy is more valuable than ideology. And now I would like to welcome Dean Sterling, who will begin the presentation of awards and prizes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Roosevelt. Good morning from Santa Fe. I join in welcoming you. We're so glad you can join us to celebrate these achievements of our students, both graduating and continuing. The first award to the member of the senior class who has written the best senior essay. The Richard D. Weigel Prize goes to Bridget Young Wu for her essay, Receiving Poetry Back from Exile, Poetry as a Friend to Philosophy, in Book 10 of Plato's Republic. Honorable mention goes to Claire Sophia Motzinger for her essay, Proof That It's Impossible to Live, the Unstable Soul in Franz Kafka's Description of a Struggle. To the members of the senior class, the Faculty Award for Sustained Academic Excellence goes to two seniors, Claire Sophia Motzinger and Bridget Young Wu. To the member of the freshman class for the best annual essay, honorable mention goes to Noah Francis Mahalik for his essay on the nature and practice of divine virtue as presented in Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. To the member of the sophomore class who has written the best enabling essay, the award goes to Ayush Thapa for his essay, Providence, Overflow, and the Limits of Speculative Reason. To the member of the junior class who has written the best annual essay, the award goes to Carl van der Luft for his essay, Kant's Theory of Experience. Honorable mention goes to Harry Che for his essay on the possibility of freedom as more than mere presupposition in Kant's groundwork for the metaphysics of morals. To the member of an undergraduate class who has written the best essay other than annual, the award goes to Emily Jean Weiser for her essay, Shame in the Profound and Wearing Masks in Beyond Good and Evil. To the Graduate Institute liberal arts student who has written a distinguished preceptorial essay, the award goes to Justin David Spain for his essay, Nietzsche on the Genealogy of Depth. To the Graduate Institute liberal arts student who has written a distinguished tutorial essay, the award goes to Patrick Jordan Anderson for his essay, Some Reflections on Reading Book 1 of Euclid. For his original music composition, the award goes to Christopher Young for his composition, Twilight Concerto for Piano and String Orchestra. Honorable mention goes to Hannah Sarah Loomis for her composition, I Made My Song a Coat to Wear. For their solutions to the freshman-sophomore set mathematical problem, honorable mentions go to two students, Jung-Sun Kim and Minjun Lee. For her original fiction, the award goes to Chinazor Ozichi Ikeunjoku for her short story, The Tie. For his Greek translation of a set piece, Sophocles' Antigone, lines 332 to 375, the William A. Darkey Translation Prize goes to Carl van der Luft. Honorable mention goes to Ayush Thapa. For their French translations of set pieces, Les Cloches and Automne Malade by Apollinaire, the William A. Darkey Translation Prize, honorable mention goes to two students, Hao Luo and Angelo Luis Reyes. To a deserving student to help with the continuation of work at St. John's College through the cultivation of the liberal arts of thinking that is aiming for and acquiring knowledge, and of friendship that is sharing inquiry and thought joyfully and for its own sake. The Robert Nydorf Memorial Scholarship goes to two students, Cameron McIntyre Hines and Elena Clark Loomis. To members of the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes, in recognition of academic achievement and constructive service to the college community, the St. John's Community Scholarship, provided by faculty, staff, and students, goes to three students, Avirol Chala, Onisha Nkaye Book, and Christopher Campbell. To members of the senior class for excellence in public speaking, the Senator Millard E. Tidings Memorial Prize goes to three seniors, Emily Marie Axelberg, Tato Sesana Chalema, and William Perkins Mombello. To a member of the senior class who has been an outstanding leader in his class, the Don Cook Student Leadership Award goes to Mario Alberto Moreno. To members of the senior class who have excelled in service to the college, the Dean's Award for College Service goes to two seniors, William Hunter Winkle Thompson and Shannon James Lynch Albritton. To the students who have most contributed to the academic support of their peers, the Assistant Dean's Award goes to two students, Lauren Isabel Bouchereau and Nico Angel Gargiulo. To a member of the senior class who has demonstrated achievement in the arts and literature, the Walter S. Baird Prize goes to Bridget Young Wu for her personal narrative entitled Almost an Island. We close with Student Activity and Student Life Awards. To the senior who, by his leadership, professionalism, hard work, and goodwill, has made an outstanding contribution to the St. John's Activities Center, an award offered by the Student Activities Organization. The award goes to Luis Fernando Melgar Arias. To the senior who, by her leadership, enthusiasm, and devotion to the development of the St. John's community, has made an outstanding contribution to the St. John's College Outdoor Program, an award offered by the Student Activities Organization. The award goes to Emily Jean Weiser. And finally, to the seniors who, by their consistent modeling of exemplary leadership, spirit, and integrity, have made an outstanding contribution to the St. John's community. Awards offered by the Office of Student Life go to Abdullah Hussein Mirza and Lauren Isabel Bouchereau. Please join me in heartily congratulating all our award recipients.
Thank you, Dean Sterling, and congratulations to all of those just mentioned. I will say for my part, this is an outstanding class, but they're also a class that likes to have a little fun with us, I think particularly me. Just as an example, Shannon James Lynch Albritton. For 3 years, I thought Shannon Lynch and Shannon Albritton were two different people. Only now, coming to commencement, do I realize this is one person with a multitude of names, and unfortunately have to reduce one graduate from our ranks. But I will get over that. So now, we are very grateful to have Tom Udall as our commencement speaker. Tom Udall continues his family's remarkable tradition of public service. He served for 2 decades as a U.S. representative and New Mexico's Attorney General. He was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2008 and re-elected in 2014, and is now New Mexico's senior senator. He's retiring from the Senate at the end of this year, but I suspect his life in public works is not over. Tom was born to Stuart and Lee Udall in Tucson, Arizona in 1948. His roots in New Mexico are deep. His grandmother, Louise Lee, was born in Luna during territorial days and was part of a ranching family in what is now Catron County. Her family used to drive cattle down the White Mountains to the railway in Magdalena. In the Senate, Tom is a strong advocate for the environment, affordable and accessible health care, and campaign finance reform. Tom is married to Jill Cooper, an attorney, advocate for the arts, and an 18-year member of the Board of Visitors and Governors of St. John's College. They live in Santa Fe. Senator Udall, a Democrat, is well known for his gentle demeanor, open-mindedness, and a desire to work across the aisle. He despairs of the growing rancor between the parties. But he is also eager to share what he believes and what he thinks is at stake. And perhaps most importantly, as you will hear in his remarks, Senator Udall believes strongly in the value of a St. John's education and what our graduates bring to the world. To watch Senator Udall's speech, go to the same commencement landing page that brought you to this live event. If you've forgotten the website, don't worry, we'll be posting a slide with it very shortly to help you navigate. After the senator's speech, we will have a recorded performance by the St. John's College Virtual Chorus, produced by tutor Andy Kingston, followed by a recorded conferral of degrees to undergraduates and graduates. The final portion of the recorded program will include a welcome message from the Alumni Association Board, and then we will return here live for a toast with Dean Sterling and McDonald. To give all of you, whom some of you may be like me, not that great with technology, plenty of time to watch the entire series of recorded events, we will meet back here at 11:30 Mountain Time, or 1:30 Eastern Time, or 10:30 Pacific Time for our live toast. Please do join us at that time. We hope you'll be with us. And remember, if you do get lost, return to sjc.edu/commencementsf. See you again very soon.
Hello, Johnnies, and congratulations, class of 2020. All 74 undergraduates and 16 graduate students. Today, you make history. You are the first St. John's class to hold a virtual commencement. Maybe not the kind of history you expected to make, but it's history nonetheless. I'm honored you chose me to deliver this address. My wife is on your board, and both of us have been involved for years, and I love this college. Graduations are always bittersweet. It's painful and scary to leave the joys and comforts of college, but it's exhilarating to strike out on your own. I suspect that it's somewhat more bitter this year. These last months, you haven't seen much of your friends. You have missed in-person seminars with your beloved tutors. You haven't kicked a soccer ball or thrown a frisbee on the soccer field. I'm sorry you missed out on all of that. It's a good thing all of you are such heavy-duty readers because you've had plenty of time for great books. As you graduate today, you face a time of fear, uncertainty, economic dislocation, a time of great challenge, but also a time when so many Americans are rising to the challenge. We see heroes every day: doctors, nurses, janitors, and cafeteria workers, frontline workers, risking everything for us every day. Essential workers in nursing homes, grocery stores, restaurants, keeping us safe, keeping food on the table, and keeping the economy churning. Volunteers making masks, caring for COVID-19 patients, delivering food to homebound seniors. These champions give us hope. So much of our nation is pulling in the same direction, despite what you might hear on cable news. My challenge to you is to be part of harnessing our sense of social solidarity, to move our nation forward, to use everything you've learned, all the skills you've developed, to take us to a better place, a better destiny. You're probably tired of hearing the word crisis. No generation should have to confront so many world-altering challenges at once. But I would be doing you a disservice if I sugarcoated the reality. We are staring at climate change, a nature crisis, and a crisis in our democracy. All of these crises are interconnected. You know what the science is telling us. We have a dozen years before climate change reaches a tipping point. We need to get to carbon neutral and do it now. 1 million plant and animal species risk extinction over the next decade. We lose a football field of nature every 30 seconds. We need to save 30% of our lands and waters by 2030 to begin to save our planet. The people strongly support fighting climate change and saving nature, young people especially. The scientists and the American people are saying the same thing. And we're supposed to be living in a representative democracy. So why aren't the people's representatives in Congress responding to the people? Why aren't they taking action to fight climate change and save nature? Well, it's because our democracy is on the ropes. The government has stopped answering to the people. The Supreme Court has allowed unlimited campaign contributions from big corporations and secret contributions from the super wealthy. Special interests and the 1% are trying to buy elections, and they're having too much success. The Supreme Court has dismantled the Voting Rights Act and has green-lighted political gerrymandering. States now have license to erect barriers that block minorities from voting and to set electoral districts to keep one political party in power. Democracy depends on full, active participation by the electorate, where everyone can make their voice heard. The basic democratic principle is being undermined. As Johnnies, you know a thing or two about democratic principles. You learned about the beginnings of democracy reading Herodotus, Plato, and Aristotle. You learned about the beginnings of our republic reading the Federalist Papers. You understand our past, and now you will be responsible for our future. Governance by the people is an essential element of democracy, not by a tyrant, a monarch, or the aristocracy. Benjamin Franklin, upon leaving the Constitutional Convention, was asked, "What have we got, a republic or a monarchy?" "A republic, if you can keep it," he famously replied. Over our 200 years, our republic has been tested, and it's being put to the test now. But you are part of what gives me hope that we will pass that test. I chose public service as a career. I hope some of you will too. For me, public service is not just a career, it's my passion and my life's work. I hope all of you will follow your passion when choosing your path. That's the best advice I can give you today. Follow your passion, listen to your heart. They say, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Now that may be some exaggeration. I'm not going to tell you every day is fun and games in the United States Senate, but I can tell you that working in public service is an immense honor, and I can't imagine having done anything else. At this juncture, it's more critical than ever that young people like you get involved in democracy. Wherever you are, you can make sure we chart a better path forward. My great-grandfather, David King Udall, helped settle St. John's, Arizona, a small farming community in the 1880s. An embroidery hung in his frontier home, and it read, "If good folks don't get into politics, the scoundrels will take over." Good folks, no matter their politics, put the people first. Scoundrels put their ambitions and pocketbooks first. And that's why good folks like you should think about public service in whatever form suits you. I don't want to paint a picture of politics as black and white, good or bad, right and wrong. That's too simplistic. We're constantly grappling with legitimate but competing interests. Compromise and balance are the key. For example, here in New Mexico, we should be closing all coal-fired plants to tackle climate change. But we also need to make sure that coal miners, many of them Navajo Indians, can still earn a living. Otherwise, we must phase out fossil fuels to get to carbon neutral. But like oil and gas workers, need to be able to put food on the table. And revenues from oil and gas fund much of our state government, including health and education. We have to be able to make up for those shortfalls. These are real challenges without easy answers. They require critical thinking, exactly the skills you've learned at St. John's. I quoted my great-grandfather, and now I'm going to quote your president, Mark Roosevelt, and his great-grandfather, Teddy Roosevelt. In 1918, just as the flu was starting to take hold in the United States, Roosevelt gave a commencement address at Trinity College in Connecticut. He counseled the graduates, and I quote here, "The essentials of democracy can go hand in hand with the achievement of culture." We need people like you to enter public service and safeguard democratic systems. You're armed with a rigorous education, emphasizing critical thinking and humanist values. You can take on the complex issues we face. Public service doesn't have to mean serving in elected office. It can take many different forms. I urge you to get involved at any level. Your neighborhood association, a city planning board, a state task force. Become involved in what matters to you, what you care about, and make a difference. I can guarantee, no matter how much you give, you'll gain back at least as much. This is my plea to you at this time of crisis of our democracy and our planet. Be a part of the solution. Use the incredible education you've gotten at St. John's to meet the challenges before us. You have been educated in the democratic principles that made this nation and other democracies around the world very strong. You can help guide this nation and the world back to those values, to bring us back so that we can move forward. So Johnnies, as I close, I congratulate you and your families for all that you have accomplished. And I thank you for the very special honor of speaking to you on this momentous day in your lives. Cheers and have a wonderful day.
I, the Dean of St. John's College in Santa Fe, bear witness that these young individuals, tried and true, have happily applied themselves among us to humane letters, philosophy, and eloquence, that they have passed the period of their course in our halls, that they have been called to examination in the presence of members of the college and the public, that they have abundantly proved themselves well-versed in all these studies. Hewan Adamu Admasu, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Shannon James Lynch Albritton, East Meredith, New York. Kimo Alvarez, Spokane, Washington. Nico Angel Gargiulo, Seattle, Washington.
For a College of Inquiry from E. Cummings, always the beautiful answer who asks a more beautiful question.
Hana An, Suwon, South Korea.
Bye all for now. Nice talking to you. Take care, take it easy, and have a good one.
Kwadwo Duomo Asiedu, Mampon, Ashanti, Ghana. Emily Marie Axelberg, South Bend, Indiana. Zachary Thomas Byer, New Orleans, Louisiana. Matthew Jordan Beck, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Lauren Isabel Bouchereau, Tarzana, California. Leah Hushka Kamenite, Weingarten, Germany. Kyle Matthew Canterbury, Flint, Michigan. Alexandra Asamina Cartharis, Zakynthos, Greece. Isabella Robin Copeland, Julian, California.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say congratulations to you all.
Nani Ordofa Deti, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Billy Fabricant, New York, New York. Celia Violet Fearon, Palm Springs, California. Cameron Flores, New York, New York. Georgia Rose Foster Cooper, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Emmett Logan Freeman, Baltimore, Maryland. Israel Gallegos, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Natalie Louise Gamble, Tempe, Arizona. Elizabeth Joy Grayson, Denver, Colorado. Grace Teresa Griffin, Wheaton, Illinois.
It took me 4 years, but I found my place at St. John's, and I'm sad to leave it like this. Still, I'd like to thank Bill and Helen and Mango for being my off-campus support, and Ms. Longwaters, Ms. Levy, Mr. Walpin, Mr. Carl, and everyone at Tunes at Noon for being my on-campus support throughout the years.
William Douglas Harmon, Sanibel, Florida. Nicholas Kane Hobson, Spring Valley Lake, California. Abraham Hudak, Tucson, Arizona.
Goodbye, my friends, and thank you all for learning with me. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I hope we can all bring kindness into our work.
Sebastian Fernando Huerta, Pembroke Pines, Florida. Caitlin Marie Josephson, Salix, Pennsylvania. Chifunda Kakusa, Chingola, Zambia. Tato Sesana Khalema, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Hello all and congratulations to the rest of my class. We have proven that there is no such thing as an immovable object. Because of our unstoppable force, we have overcome many obstacles and made it to the finish line together. I'm incredibly grateful and thankful to have had you all as friends and peers for the last 4 years, and I wish you luck wherever you may be next year.
Bobin Kim, Daegu, South Korea. William Redpath Kupitz, Wilmette, Illinois. Hyuki Kwon, Seoul, South Korea.
Class of 2020 and tutors. Every single one of you helped me grow, however much or little we talked. I learned to be honest with myself, and I learned to share confusion with amazing and thoughtful people. Confusion about who I am. Thank you, my friends. You will always stay alive in my heart.
James Robert Law, Liverpool, United Kingdom. Shaoxin Liu, Zhangzhou, China. Hao Luo, Kunming, Yunnan, China. Sadie Hope McDonald, Baltimore, Maryland. Luis Fernando Melgar Arias, Guatemala City, Guatemala. Abdullah Hussein Mirza, South Bend, Indiana.
They told me I only have 20 seconds. Tried thanking everyone by name, but I ran out of time at the first Mr. Wolf. Instead, I'd just like to say it's been a real pleasure. I've learned so much from all of you. The great conversation is far from over. It's just beginning. See you out there.
William Perkins Mombello, Newburyport, Massachusetts. Mario Alberto Moreno, Stockton, California. Claire Sophia Motzinger, Crestone, Colorado. Patrick Alexander Murray, New York, New York. Adrian Nez, Flagstaff, Arizona. Daniel Tan Nguyen, Portland, Oregon. John Pritzker, Kentfield, California. Jesse Joe Reeves, Mapleton, Oregon. Lila Makalea Rosen, Kailua, Hawaii. Christian Sanslaria, Katy, Texas. Emma Boke Marwa Seba, Nairobi, Kenya. Benjamin Walker Sharp, Oak Point, Texas. Cody Lee Snyder, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Douglas John Rowland Spurlock, New River, Arizona. John Henry Stewart, Grass Valley, California. James Svoboda, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Gregory Alexander Sisoyev, St. George, Utah.
I am so incredibly proud to have been a part of this class. I have formed memories here that will always stay with me. God willing, this is not the last time we will all see each other.
Carolina Itzel Tavares Hinojos, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Rachel Janine Taylor, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I just wanted to say that St. John's is such a unique place, and it gives you a feeling of confidence, like you can leave and do anything you want. And I just want to say thank you to especially my parents, but all my friends and family and the tutors at St. John's that made it such a memorable experience.
Bikash Thakur, Janakpur, Nepal.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to have studied at St. John's College and met some incredible friends and tutors. For our class, I wish you all best of luck and hope that you make the most use of your education here.
Min Thant, Yangon, Myanmar.
It has been 4 great years at St. John's for me. I have learned many useful things here and I am very grateful for it. I am going to Michigan State University coming fall for a doctorate in political philosophy. Jesu de Mare.
William Hunter Winkle Thompson, Denver, Colorado.
I want to thank everyone in the college community, and especially everyone in our class, for making these past 4 years such a wonderful experience. Thanks to all of you, I know a little bit more about what it means to be human.
Tobias Oscar Joachim Tennerholm, Copenhagen, Denmark. Georgi Ukleba, Tbilisi, Georgia. Cleo Ulatovsky, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Noah Miller Waldron, Greenbelt, Maryland.
Thank you to my family for making this possible for me, and thank you to my friends for guiding me through my education. Friendship is easily the most important thing that can be learned here. Savor them.
Sarah Caitlin Ward, Austin, Texas. Emily Jean Weiser, Durango, Colorado. Samuel Willard, Sussex County, Delaware. Bridget Young Wu, Shanghai, China.
Hi everyone. Thank you, tutors, friends, and classmates, for all of it. I have learned so much more than I dreamed I could have learned.
Xianyuan Shu, Qingdao, China. Huayani Yang, Chongqing, China. Brandon Young, San Antonio, Texas. Zhongping Zhang, Jinan, China.
I, the Associate Dean for Graduate Programs at the Graduate Institute in Liberal Education of St. John's College in Santa Fe, bear witness that these individuals have applied themselves among us to a program of study in the Graduate Institute, and that they have successfully completed the program in liberal arts or the program in Eastern Classics. Christopher James Allison, American Fork, Utah. Patrick Jordan Anderson, Chester, New Jersey. Joshua Allen Baker, Enterprise, Alabama.
Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Thank you to everyone who supported me during my time here at St. John's, and thank you to the community for making these past 2 years truly special.
Patrick James Burley, Chester, Virginia. Janet Susan Cedar, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Nicole Olivia Corbo, Bourne, Massachusetts. Samia Haq, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Kelsey Jean Hennigan, Huntington Beach, California.
I want to express my gratitude to the St. John's community, students, faculty, and staff, to the reading groups that carried me throughout this year, to Mr. Walpin, who is a superb paper advisor and friend, and to Dean Sterling, with whom I've had the privilege of working for these past 2 years.
Sarah Jessica Jackson, Portales, New Mexico. James Charles William Jennings, Broadway, Somerset, England. Sharain Kareem, Dallas, Texas. Devin Martin Ketch, Torrance, California.
Congratulations, class of 2020, and thank you to our tutors, staff, family, and friends. A special thank you to Miss Van Boxel. Our revels now are ended, and yet they are just beginning too.
Philippa Alice Scott, Timaru, New Zealand. Jacob G.A.P. Turnbull, Tularosa, New Mexico. David Ryan Conway, Corning, New York.
Thanks to my colleagues for putting up with the work I missed for class. Thanks to my tutors for putting up with the class I missed for work. And thanks to my classmates for putting up with me.
Vivian Lisbeth Garcia, Los Angeles, California.
Hi, this is my commencement video. This is the end of my commencement video.
On behalf of the Alumni Association, we want to welcome you as our newest alumni.
Welcome.
Welcome back. I probably shouldn't do this until we're finished, but I do want to thank very much our people from our IT staff and other college staff who have made this possible. And by the way, I can now announce the single largest virtual commencement in Santa Fe St. John's history. So thank you all for your help. Thank you for capturing me saying where are we at now a little earlier. And welcome back to all of you to the live stream celebration of the class of 2020. I would now like to ask our graduating students, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please rise for this portion of the ceremony. We, the president, the deans, and the tutors of St. John's College in Santa Fe, New Mexico, bear witness that these individuals, tried and true, have happily applied themselves among us to humane letters, philosophy, mathematics, science, languages, and music, that they have passed the period of their course in our halls, that they have been called to examination in the presence of this academic community and the public, that they have abundantly proven themselves well-versed in all these studies, and finally, that in accordance with the order of the trustees, in this public session on the 23rd day of May, 2020, they have reached the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts. In witness of this, we have on this aforesaid day and year subscribed our names to these letters, which have been confirmed by the Great Seal of the College. By command of the visitors and governors of St. John's College, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts. Congratulations to the class of 2020. We missed you. We missed you a great deal. We wish you love, kindness, greatness, and purpose. We hope to see you back on campus as soon as possible. Whether you make it for the class of 2020 post-COVID reunion or a random visit just to say hello, we expect to see you all again and hope it is soon. And now to our deans. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, please sit. You probably already had, but if you haven't, please do now. And now to our deans, who will give celebratory toasts to the graduate and undergraduate class of 2020. David McDonald.
I am here to congratulate you on finishing at St. John's College.
You have worked hard against unexpected obstacles. It is an especially challenging time, yet the world and the human spirit are open to renewal. I believe that we will see in the coming months and years a new sense of focus, a new clarity about what matters, and this will work in your favor as people who are already devoted to discerning what is most important. Though much is suspended or on hold right now, there will be good things happening once we emerge from the current crisis, and you will be exceedingly well suited to thriving amidst that newness and amidst that sense of fresh perspective. You yourselves will, in fact, be crucial to developing an invigorated vision for what it means for us to live well. Let me speak now to the students of the Graduate Institute, especially those graduating now. I feel supremely lucky to have worked with you. I am full of admiration. As readers, as conversationalists, as thinkers, you have truly distinguished yourselves. It is largely my experience with you that justifies my optimism about life after COVID. And even now, when we have not yet emerged from this shadow, your resilience, good humor, and depth of character and intellect are a source of encouragement. I hope that you also have gained such encouragement from one another and from our shared work of conversation. May you now bring that forward. From a place of sincere fondness and celebrating who you are, I congratulate you and I toast you. And now a toast from Dean Sterling.
Thank you, Dean McDonald. To our seniors, no, to our new graduates, the class of 2020. Just a few months ago, none of us could have pictured this for your graduation day and week. And before I close and offer a toast to celebrate your graduation, a few remarks. I wish to acknowledge that this is not a substitute for the many traditional and personal toasts we would have heard this week at your senior dinner. That dinner now stands as one of many promises, many hopes we do hold and should hold for the future. For future returns, reunions, encounters, and celebrations. It lifts all of our spirits here in uncertain times to keep before us a vision of those toasts from tutors, from students, at your future senior dinner, however realized. But today is the day of your graduation. And whatever challenges we all face at this difficult time, they do not diminish. Rather, they should enhance the simple joy, the heartfelt congratulations, and the satisfaction of accomplishment that can unite you as a class across all the distance and bring all of us together, your fellow Johnnies, our true college community, a community of learning, friendship, and shared purpose. One of the first Greek phrases we learn here is the maxim cited by Plato, chalapa ta kala. Noble things are difficult. Beautiful things are difficult. So true in life, so true in our noble pursuit of liberal education and freedom of the mind. All the more true this year for all of you and for many reasons. You have not ignored the difficulties. How could you? But you have overcome them. You have not succumbed to them. You have lifted yourselves on them like wings against the wind. That you have done so nobly, beautifully, is perhaps clearer to some of us than it is to you, and maybe clearer still in the future than it is now, but it is so. In that spirit, on behalf of our faculty and our extended college community, I offer these closing words, and you may stand or raise a glass if you have one. We hope your years at St. John's College have been joyful and nourishing, years in which you have come to maturity of mind and character, years in which you have formed the finest and most enduring of friendships, years in which you have found abiding loves in the books, art, and ideas you have made your own, in the mountains, sunsets, and stars that envelop our campus, and in the faces and souls of your peers and fellow learners. We hope your coming journeys fulfill the great promise you bear with you today for generous, full, and flourishing lives. And we hope you will remain with us in spirit and that you will send back word of your adventures and return to us when you can, for you will always be a member of our ever vital college community, and we will always care about what you have gone on to do, who you have become, and what marks you have left on the world. Our faculty, the Johnny soul, I venture to say, is not given to excessive flattery or irrational optimism. So please note today that the spirit we all feel of abundant joy, pride, and celebration for your accomplishments, and the great hope we have for what you will achieve in the future are indeed well-founded and well-earned. Our college is stronger and better today because you have been among us. We miss you, we congratulate you, we celebrate with you near and far, and we raise our glasses together to honor you, to the class of 2020. And now closing remarks from Mr. Roosevelt.
Thank you, everybody. I admit this is now my second class. I just want to say to our graduates, you are now graduates of St. John's College. And you now know that when people speak to you and they try to tell you things about life, like, for example, that is who you know in this world that counts. You're Johnnies. You know better. It's whom you know in this world that counts. My congratulations to you, my thanks for all your support during these difficult times, and my best wishes and hopes to see you soon. Congratulations.